Hey guys, Dave here, and a lot of you are new to mini splits. You got your new mini split. What's a big thing that's different about a mini split versus a normal whole house air conditioner or heat pump? Well, your filters are underneath here, okay? But similar to your main air conditioner for your whole house, if you don't clean these, problems ensue, okay? And so your environment's going to mandate a lot of how often you need to clean these. If you this is relatively clean here, maybe once every quarter, honestly. But if you're downstairs where there's more production going on, if you're burning things, candles, firewood, we had a unit up in Mesquite, or a couple units up in Mesquite. It was a kennel, and they washed dogs there, and constantly dog hair is getting in their filters. So that was more like once a week sort of thing. So check, when you first get one, check often to see what your situation is. But first thing is, how do you open this critter, okay? And all mini splits that I know of, they have on both sides, they have a little indentation here to put your two fingers. Rotate up, this might stay in place, hopefully like a car hood or whatever. Like me, since most of these are new, they should stay up. But if you have one that doesn't stay up, you can still maybe do it one-handed. But they have tabs here, and you need to push this up. And these look pretty clean, right? I mean, from a distance or from where they are right now. But we'll see how dirty they actually are here in a second. But they have tabs that hold in the filters. So what's different about these are washable filters, okay? Normally every month you go to Costco or Lowe's or whatever. I mean, hopefully once a year you buy your filters. But if you're cleaning filters once a month, it can be a 15, depending on the MERV value of your filters, could be a $15 a month habit, okay? Whereas these are washable. Now, are these as high a MERV? They're not, okay? But they're also just one little zone here, so they're not your whole house filter. But so push up on this tab, right? And then there's a little channel where this goes through. And so you see this is not really particularly clean. So what happens, how does this get dirty? The return air comes through the top here, and then it goes through the coil underneath here. So this is the part that's cold in the summer and warm in the winter, okay? And what you don't want is you don't want this to get dirty, right? And it will get dirty if you have this totally coated. I mean, we have clients who don't do this for a year, and then they complain their unit isn't working, and lo and behold, hey, do you ever change your filters? Ever look at the liner notes of what the one biggest maintenance thing you need to do on your unit? No. So the problem is, if you don't do this, the air is going to find its way through somewhere else, and yeah, it's going to get on this right here. And also, theoretically, on older units, older non-inverter mini split units, that could bring the refrigerant could actually be sludgy. It could not be, the refrigerant, before it gets back to the compressor, it's supposed to be something called superheated. So it's no liquid left in it, right? Because liquid in compressors, bad news. So inverter compressors will slow down. Most mini splits these days, the rules sort of becoming inverter compressors. So what will happen instead is there's going to be a sensor in here that's going to slow down the unit. And so you're not going to get, the bottom line, do this just for comfort's sake. If you bought a mini split to save money, you're not going to save money if you have dirty filters, because at best, the unit's going to slow down and provide less BTUs. At worst, yeah, you're not getting the airflow coming out of here. And and potentially you could have compressor problems. A more likely problem you're going to have is this blower wheel. There's a fan in here, big long fan in here. By the way, if you want to check the temperature of your mini split, don't get a meat thermometer and stick it in here, because this thing is spinning around very, very quickly right now, and you're going to lose the paddles off your blower wheel here. And get at Amazon, $9-10, you can get an infrared thermometer, works great. But do that instead of sticking anything in here, because that's very challenging, changing out that, and costly to change out that blower wheel. Okay, so we got two filters here. We'll take them downstairs. So what do you do with these? Rinse them with water. And I mean, if they're if they're oily or dirty or something, you could maybe do like Dawn or some type of dish soap. But you don't, and these can be put back in wet too, as we'll see here in a second. Because the water just drips down here into the pan here, which is that's how the nature of air conditioning. There's two types of heat. There's simple heat and there's latent heat. Okay, latent heat is the humidity in the air. So the tray in here is used to having water flow down here, and then there's a switch back, and water comes out, and the water goes out your condensate tube in the back. And so any water that drips down, not going to be a problem. Okay, so you don't need to blow dry. Don't put any chemicals on there. Don't blow dry them, just because over time, if you put heat to this or if you put chemicals to this, these are not going to last forever. So, and so this, to me, the analogy I thought of for this to make this walk down the stairs here interesting. So I have a rental house in Royal Oak, Michigan, and the tenant that was there, we'll call her Tina, not to be confused with that beautiful movie star Tina Louise, but she had a cat, right? And she has the litter box and out on the above hardwood floors. And the cat was so disgusted with the litter box never being cleaned out, it started pooping and peeing on the hardwood floor. All right. And so, if these filters are super dirty and the air is going to have to find a way through, and you don't want the air going directly on the coil, because that, similar to my hardwood floor being ruined, it's going to ruin your coil. It might make it too, if there's less airflow, that blower motor in there, it's going to be run at higher amps. So again, you're not going to be losing money from running the thing with more power, but also it's not going to be good for the blower motor, and it could actually fry the blower motor. Okay, so all it takes to do with these. And so do it both sides, but primarily the dirt's on this side, okay? But we'll do it on this side first. And this water is hot. I think it does help a little bit with being hot, but don't put heat gun or anything to try and dry the things off, because probably not going to have good results from doing that over time, at least. Okay, I mean, you can strive for perfection or not, but I mean, the bottom line is that these are now a lot better than they were. Okay, and that's rinsed off enough, I think. And so, yeah, there is some savings to be had with these over the whole house filter, right? Because instead of spending $15 a month, you do this once a month, and it's other than a little bit of time, it's free. So these, I mean, all mini splits, I think, all work the same way. There's a little channel here. You need to kind of push. And so this is, of course, the tabs stay on the bottom here. And this is the shape, right? Basically, we're just putting it in. I mean, don't put it in this way, of course. Put it in the shape that it is. Slides up, push it up to get underneath these two tabs. Two tabs. So that one's done. And so we all have these magical cellular telephones that have a calendar function. So, and now of course I got the thing dirty, but put a calendar. If you're finding yours need to be cleaned out once a quarter, put a reminder in your calendar on your phone to do it once a quarter, because it's an easy thing to forget, and it can be unforgiving, but at best, you're going to notice fewer BTUs coming out of here. You're going to be less comfortable. So do this. Thanks.